Hello there, Attorney Paul Youngs. I'd like to talk more about Depp v. Heard. Yesterday was an interesting day. Amber Heard called a witness, Dr. Spiegel, to testify as to Johnny's substance abuse problems and the relationship of his substance abuse problems to the alleged abuse in the case and IPV, which is an acronym for intimate partner violence. Dr. Spiegel is a psychologist. He has worked as a psychologist for many years, has quite the education, and they went through all of that to qualify him as an expert, as they always do with expert witnesses. And when you're done going through an expert witness's qualifications, you hand them over to the opposing team for voir dire, or to be cross-examined just as to your qualifications and whether or not you're worthy or admissible as an expert witness. And you may recall that voir dire is a term that is also used to mean picking a jury. You're kind of doing the same thing. You're voir diring or testing the person or expert witness's qualifications as a juror, i.e., are they biased? An expert witness, are they qualified? Voir dire more literally means to tell the truth or to tell what will be. And during voir dire, Dr. Spiegel quickly became defensive, which usually doesn't bode well, and it didn't. He kept addressing Johnny Depp's attorney, Benjamin Chew, as Sir, which may sound respectful, but usually it's indicative of impatience or frustration. He also would start his answers with the word again, meaning we've already talked about this. So he would say, again, I went to school here, or again, I've testified at many trials. I don't remember the specific questions that he would use that preface in his answers, but he did it a lot, and it was a horrible look. Notwithstanding, he was qualified as an expert, and he went on to testify to many things. And these expert witnesses, as you might expect, have full access to the discovery packet and everything that the attorneys have. He can look over the file, go through the entirety of Johnny Depp's video deposition, and there was a lot of dirt in there and a lot of talk about partying. I don't think anyone suggests that Johnny Depp is not a partier. Well, when you are sworn in and you have to answer questions under oath, you really have to give it up. And he talked about Marilyn Manson and doing blow and using LSD, drinking to excess, and many other witnesses have testified to Johnny and his habits. So there was a lot to use. If you're going to try to paint Johnny Depp as a partier, oh baby, you've probably got a lot to work with. And he did. And he testified to all these things, and he probably made quite the impression. I know that Johnny seemed a little downtrodden from all this information being trotted out. Even Camille Vasquez looked like she was uncharacteristically quiet and kind of somber sitting there at the counsel table. Usually she's kind of chipper and real flowery, but during this direct on Johnny's partying habits, it was kind of a dark scene. Well, if it was just left like that with a short cross-examination, maybe that could really scored points for Amber Heard. But on cross, things really went off the rails. The witness, Dr. Spiegel, that is, was so defensive and continued his agains and his sirs, and even went further and challenged Benjamin Chew, saying, you really want to talk about this, or you really want to talk about that. And the judge even admonished him and said, "You just need to answer the questions that have been asked, Dr. Spiegel." So that was a horrible look. And it went from potentially damaging testimony to probably testimony that it was not discredited so much because of contradictory information or a lack of qualification or inconsistent prior statements, or all the usual reasons that you can discredit a witness. It was just that he was so defensive that he made a bad impression, and that was probably the lasting impression that, oh, this is the witness that the judge had to reel in and admonish just to answer the questions. So it was a horrible look, and it reminded me of Shakespeare's Macbeth, where he says, "The lady doth protest too much, methinks." And that was exactly the case with Dr. Spiegel. He protested too much. And if he just would have accepted the questions and answered blandly and kind of emotionally flat, it would have deflated the cross-examination, or at least expedited it. Because when you decide you're going to fence with the opposing attorney, it certainly draws out the cross-examination and creates this time window between all your damning testimony and the end of your examination. And it creates this appearance that you're defensive about everything that you have to say. So it was a bad look, probably wasted an opportunity to really leave a lasting, damning impression about Johnny Depp. Okay, I'll talk to you next time. Peace. Thank you.